Yeah, my name's Kevin Haig. I've lived in Newtown Mount Kennedy for 14 years and I've lived in Ireland for 28 years.
Right. And how long has this been going on for?
This particular protest has been going on for about 7 weeks now.
Yeah.
And for the first 5 weeks, it was completely peaceful.
Yeah.
Just to put this into context,
Yeah.
Newtown Mount Kennedy is the fastest growing village in Ireland. We've got a growth rate of 65%.
Yeah.
The planning department's targets for Newtown was 20%.
Yeah.
But the growth has been so fast that last year Lord Planola said no more development in Newtown until we get a library, a leisure centre, a secondary school, a bank, a dentist, all the things we don't have now. The village is hugely under-resourced.
Yeah.
About 6 or 7 weeks ago, we noticed that River Lodge in Trudder was suddenly being developed. This is a derelict building that we've been campaigning for the village as a facility for the village since 2019. It turns out we were told it was being investigated as a potential site for iPass.
Yeah.
Clearly it wasn't being investigated, it was being rapidly developed. And very quickly a peaceful protest set up at the gates to stop the development.
Yeah. And how many people would demand the peaceful protest 24/7, if you estimate?
It varied. 24/7 is a hard schedule to keep, but there was always at least half a dozen people on site, even at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. So that'd be about 30 or 40 people in rotation, would it?
Well, no, it would be far more than that. It's hard work getting up at 5 every morning to stand on there. So there was a significant number of peaceful protesters.
You would say 60 or 70 then in rotation?
Easily on rotation.
And they would be mostly from around Wicklow and Dublin, would they?
Mostly from Newtown. This is a community protest. We've kept it very, very clear that this is a community process. This is mums and dads, this is local people. We're amateur protesters. We've never done this before in many cases. But what we were saying was, just hold on a second. There's a huge dispute over the ownership of the site. On the land registry, it's owned by a trust for the village, for educational and medical purposes. The HSE are saying they own it, and therefore they can give it over. We just want proof. And the second thing we wanted was a proper environmental impact statement. Firstly on the site itself, because it's down a narrow lane with no street lights, no footpaths. In the last rains, the field itself flooded quite badly. It's totally unsuitable for tented accommodation. But also the village is totally unsuitable because we have no resources. There's nothing here. And we feel it's immoral to just dump people in a field, a soggy wet field in Wicklow, with no resources at all, and then move on. And it's kind of like panic stations.
So would you oppose all mass migration or just illegal mass migration?
Well, I think we have to first of all understand what the migration situation is. There are a number of genuine asylum seekers who are fleeing war and who are fleeing persecution, and of course we should look after those. But most of the people coming to Ireland now are economic migrants. We have no responsibility for them at all. We also have the ability to opt out of our responsibilities under Lisbon and the Dublin agreements. Denmark did that. We have chosen not to for some reason. But we probably still have a moral obligation to look after people who need to be looked after. But the analogy I use is if you get home to your house and find the bath overflowing, the first thing you do is turn off the tap. So let's stop the supply.
So what would you say if I said we should have mass deportations from Ireland? Would you agree or disagree with that?
Well, I think we have no obligation to economic migrants who are just coming here to live off the Irish state. And I think we should look at a way of dealing with that situation. Being cognizant of the fact that there are genuine refugees who we are morally obliged to look after, if not legally.
Okay, thanks so much. Good meal and Thanks so much.
No problem.